Welcome to the Filmistines, a double feature podcast. Join us as we unravel the interwoven experience of the continuous conversation of cinema. Take part in pairing movies with their cursed counterparts, movies that share DNA, or even pairing questionable duos by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level. The $5 tier will grant the ability to request films to further the discussion. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready to join the 100-year conversation. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines. Thank you guys for joining us today. I am joined today by my nonsensical friend, Lucy.
Nonsensical? Like having no sense?
That's you.
All right. Hello, everyone.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmistines. Some recent episodes include Disney's Wish, Illumination's Migration, Past Lives, A Rice Boy Sleeps, and old Martin Scorsese's
new
long-ass movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. Remember to leave nice reviews, comments, thoughts, and ideas over on our Patreon. Come request a movie. Come subscribe. We appreciate all the support. Thank you guys so much.
Are you stressed and filled with anxiety like I am? Maybe in a bit of pain from that car accident you had a few years ago? Well, the sponsor of today's episode, Hempville CBD, has us covered. They have the highest quality products created by chemists and doctors. Hempville carries everything from CBD to THC dispensary grade without those despicable dispensary prices. Order your Delta 8, 9 edibles and vapes along with the THCA flower and get free shipping when you spend $50 or more at HempvilleCBD.com. Check out the link in the description for more details.
But today we are discussing Cord Jefferson's 2023 film, American Fiction, about our old boy Monk. Where do you know him from?
Hunger Games. That's where I know him from.
That's a good poll. He's like the star character in the second movie there. Him and his partner in that. I liked American Fiction quite a bit. I didn't love it. It's just a very excellent movie. It misses in a lot of places because I think it gets a little lost in itself. And I don't think it plays the game well enough to justify itself and having no point. Mostly because it starts off very pointy. He's in his classroom, they're discussing a novel. Some green-haired bitch is like, I don't like that word or whatever she says. And he's like, well, you just gotta get over it. And it's just really, it's so energetic in the very beginning. And so this launching point is just, I don't know, really powerful. And especially with Jeffrey Wright's performance, it's just nuts because he's so just controlled or something, man. But we land on him selling out, which is fine, but it's like almost all downhill from there as far as its prickliness. It's still, it's a great movie. It's not downhill as far as like quality of film or anything, but it's just, it felt like it was going to be a little more prickly because it was right out of the gate. And so I'm just like, but it also had the balance. It's very family, kind of hyper realistic thing going on, with his brother and his sister and his mom and his Lorraine. I'm not sure how she was family. Was she an aunt?
She was a maid.
She was just a maid? Okay.
Yeah.
But
she's been in the family for so long.
Yeah, nonetheless family. So it's kind of hard to stay prickly in a kind of deconstruction social commentary kind of way when you're balancing it with something so raw and, tender, right? But at face value, when you get into it, it's definitely a movie kind of for me. It sort of revolves around the deconstruction of this explicitly imposed blackness on black people, and Monk hates it. And I like that. That's a great proof of concept to get me to watch something for sure. But I'm very curious what you have to say about this. I know you laughed. It's a very funny movie. It's probably the funniest movie I've seen in 2023, actually. Funny enough, right? What do you think of American Fiction, man?
Yeah, this movie was pretty good. And maybe I'm a little bit lost on the simplicity of it and what it had to say. Not that I wanted to say more than what it said, but just something about it didn't make me go, oh, okay, this is why this movie was made. This is his point that he's trying to get across people's head. Especially with something so useful and probably one of my favorite literary tools satire. Satire is awesome. That's the way that you're going to get a lot of people to listen. Making things funny and exaggerated. So I love the humor behind this. And oh my God, I have way too many favorite humorous bits that just, made me laugh. But at the end of the day, did it use satire as effectively as I wanted it to?
I'm going to have to maybe say no, because he almost becomes this stereotype. He becomes a very affluent stereotype, but he completely sells out and does something he doesn't want to do and feeds this insatiable addiction / correction with a disease. Not unlike, these stereotypical black guys in the ghetto or whatever, feeling like they can't get jobs. Maybe they can't get jobs for one way or the other, and they feel like they need to resort to selling drugs. Very stereotypical idea of black men, which, we see here, of course. So there's a funny parallel between the two, and it almost feels like there's just no solution to it, to the problem of like trying to justify black lives and blackness and what that means and how it fits in society, when it just doesn't matter how it fits in society. They're human beings. We're all just human beings. It's one reason I like the tug and pull between the two films we have here, basically, the two lives of Monk, because it shows you that every individual has a very common human experience on the planet. They have family members who die way too early, right? They have family members who become sick and need to be taken care of and force people within that family to sell out. And then you have people who don't want to participate in that because they're too self-centered or lazy or whatever. You have gay people, you have people who can't stand the sight of other family members and stuff. Like, there's this common family human experience that's captured here that I like a lot, but it's balanced in such a like 1 and 0 kind of way where it feels like it struggles to connect why the common human experience is important to how society views everything. Because we literally get 0 overlap between his two lives until the very end, where his brother, is in the car waiting for him when he's doing his movie deal and stuff. It's like, well, that's where we land with this. I know, people have secret lives, of course, right? But that's not like the point of the movie. It feels a little disconnected in a bad way. I like both facets, but there's no tissue between them in any meaningful way. Because you'd almost think Monk would want to write from his perspective to actually kind of deconstruct what blackness is and how it's not that unfamiliar and not that exotic and not street driven, right?
Yeah, and back to my point, that's not what's going to sell according to, his publisher, whoever that was, Arthur. We get this comment from one of the jurors saying that he's tired of reading books about like divorced white males or something like that. And, that's something that's so relatable. Like, what, 50% of marriages end in divorce? So him writing about his mom having Alzheimer's or his sister dying or just his life, obviously people don't want to read that.
Yeah, and it only furthers that sterile narrative of consumer. Like, it's nothing else matters. We don't care about real stories. We care about the exploitation of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. You can even see that with a lot of the TV shows too. How, put it from a Latino perspective, you're going to have a show about a cartel or crossing the border or a story about an undocumented person. Whereas in reality, a lot of us are just living, I too have struggled with death and crazy mom or whatever. But that's not what people want. Maybe it's too real that we don't want that.
Or maybe because it's all about the individual, because we're so egotistical and we don't care about any other life. We care about everything that's going to further our preconceived notions and agendas and only self-fulfill this idea that, I don't know, we have some sense of control. Just as cynical as one can get.
Yeah. This movie is just exposing everyone else, which is funny, and which is something I don't understand a lot in movies, when we have this main character who's obviously different than everybody else. He thinks differently, you know, he's not part of the sheep, he's different, he's relatable. And then here we have this problem that's a very societal problem. So I don't know, it just like contradicts itself on how everyone just feels like they are Monk here. They also see this problem in society. But then if everybody sees themselves as him, why is this problem not fixed? I've always had an issue with pointing that out.
Yeah, you gotta wonder how self-aware the green-haired girls like in the beginning are. Do they see themselves in that character, or are they already on Monk's side? You know? Because that's kind of what I was saying in the beginning is we are fighting out of the gate. Man, we're going hard on these folks. We're making them look insane. I mean, they make themselves look insane, but we're doing a pretty good job exposing that. And we take it even further with Sintara and how stupid she sounds when she's reading her book. And then we get just the great shot of disgust with Monk. And it's great setup. To what, though? I'm not sure. We don't really get any payoff.
Yeah, it's almost like if you can't beat them, join them type of deal. And it's like we don't have fighters anymore. You just have people, you said it, selling out because that's what's going to get the money. Where it's like we're never going to fix this issue unless you have people who are committed. But then you have your people like Sintara, who sounds ridiculous in the beginning, and then when they're all in this, judges club to pick the next best work, she says that the book fuck is not good. It's whatever she says about it. And then we have this later conversation between Monk and Sintara, and she basically sounds like a hypocrite.
Well, her book's not up for the judging.
Right. But she doesn't like Monk's book for everything she likes about her book.
Well, we don't really know how she feels about her book.
No, she says her book, or she gets offended when Monk basically suggests that her book is
That's right, he
trash.
asks, how is it any different?
Yeah, how is it any different? Correct. And then she says, well, I did my research.
That's right. And I do like the whole depiction around Sintara and how she looks and everything, because she looks like the kind of character who would write that book and have no idea what she's talking about because she, went to Harvard or whatever kind of thing, where she just has no connection to like a so-called ghetto at all.
But she feels like she does.
But yeah, she feels like she's maybe the perfect person to voice her opinion about X, Y, and Z, surrounding the ghetto. And in reality, her experience on this planet is probably very similar to her dorm mates at whatever college she went to.
Yeah.
Whatever Ivy League college, white, black, Hispanic, whatever, doesn't matter, because you're of this culture. You're not of blackness. Black is not a culture. New York City's kind of a culture of many cultures. Even street to street, you probably see a lot of different cultures, regardless of your sports fandom, regardless of your skin color. You see, she's no different than that green-haired girl in the beginning, truthfully. Or that white bitch in the judge circle. I liked her too. I liked her look. She just looked like that person. Like oh my God, shut up.
Yes. And I have a bit of a problem with that, head-to-head conversation between Monk and Sintara at the end, because I expected him to have something to say to that. Something to say to her hypocrisy. Or was it his acceptance of, I'm never going to win thinking the way I think. I'm never going to get the money for my mom. I'm never going to have a bestseller. So I don't know. I wish I would have gotten some kind of indication on how Monk felt about this conversation. Besides just thoughtful, which, okay, is that the point? Am I supposed to be thoughtful with him?
It's a funny thing because he's got a temper. I feel like we should have gotten a little bit more out of him in that scenario. And she's also this pandering, spineless sellout. So, I mean, you'd almost think she might start to try to play the victim. Like, something might have clicked, and she would have been like, well, you went to a better school than me or something. She somehow play this, like, affluent victim kind of thing.
I almost feel like she did when she said, but mine had research behind it. Like, that's why mine is better than yours. Although she doesn't know that's his book, but although that's why mine is better than that. Because I researched these stories. And I think her mentality gets really exposed in that conversation. So I like that. I like that a lot.
I do too. And she's self-aware enough that to know she's pandering. Thank God. I mean, she is an intelligent human being, so she needs to know that she's playing the system and fooling, the green-haired girls of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of leads into my problem with this movie. And I guess unfortunately has everything to do with the family side of the film, where they become the means to the end. Lisa dies. She was taking care of their mom. Monk's next in line of being the most responsible to take care of their now dying mom, who's being, decaying very rapidly with Alzheimer's. So he loses his job. He's now in a forced position to provide for his family, right? His preferred line of work, his desired line of work is not cutting out. So now he's being forced into a lifestyle, a trade that's truly an epidemic. Not totally unlike dealing drugs. So I think there is this intentional parallel to, black man down on his luck, doing something that's maybe not so admired, but is going to pay the bills, right? Of course, on an affluent level, right? He's an academic at the end of the day. He knows how to game the system. He's that smart, right? He sees through everyone's bullshit. But I do like the parallel, I guess.
Yeah, that's an interesting point of view. I don't think I quite saw it like that, so I'm gonna have to think about that. Yeah, I almost feel like this movie doesn't have anything to say really, just to kind of make you think on where you stand in this part of society. Are you the monk? Or are you the Centaura? Are you the green-haired girl? Go check your hair color in the mirror, And then there's this tie to everything that's going on in the world right now, especially with creatives and content creators, that no matter what, this is still what we're going to be doing. Creating what entertains, what sells, what makes money. You can even almost compare it to, something as outrageous as OnlyFans. How many of these girls or guys out there are getting shit talked every day and just harassed by making this type of content? And how dare you? Do you not have a family? Do you not have any sense of respect and all these things? But how much money are they making? They're paying off thousands of dollars in debts. They're buying houses. I mean, you're the problem. They're getting this money from somewhere. They're getting this money from people who are consuming these things. So I don't know. Is the point of this movie it's okay to sell out and we all have normal lives,
Or that it's a self-fulfilled beast, that there's no really individual that's the problem. It's the whole system. Centaur is the problem. The people who buy Centaur's book is the problem. Jeffrey's a problem because he's a little bit of a coward. We need a movement.
And then we have people like his girlfriend, Caroline, who like his, first mythology books or his original mythology books. But she also likes the fuck book. She just likes everything. She appreciates the stuff in all of it. The settlers or the yes people. I don't know. I don't get enough of her to categorize her as just a kind of happy, positive person who just appreciates life in general, or if she's just one of those people that like, yes, that's good. Yes, that's good. Yes, that's good. I don't know. But I don't think that's a point either. It doesn't matter. We're all different people. We all have our justifications on why we like things and don't like things. So that's kind of why I also feel like it's a movie about nothing. This is what it is. But don't get me wrong, I really like this movie.
Why?
It's hilarious. It cracked me up, man.
Yeah, no, it's got some great performances too, especially Jeffrey and Lorraine and
the brother Cliff.
Cliff, yeah.
I don't know his actor name. Sterling Brown. I like how ridiculous they make people look in this, and especially how ridiculous they make the white people look in this. You have that lady who's, after Centara gives her interview, she gives she's the first one to stand up and give this standing ovation. And she stands up right in front of Monk and she starts clapping. And that was hilarious. That killed me. The green-haired girl in the beginning, she killed me. The boy, that's probably my favorite scene. Well, I have two favorite parts, but my first favorite scene is when they're in the bookstore and he finds his books in the African American literature section, not the mythology section. And then, he questions the boy working there. He's like, why are these here? He's like, I don't know. That's just where I put him. He's probably African American. And then he's like, yes, he is, because that's me. And he's like, oh, bingo. Yeah, we got that right. And he just doesn't see the problem. And then when, Monk asks him, can we move let's move him to the correct section? He's like, I mean, we're just going to move him right back.
Well, the important part about that was that it's policy, that they're a chain store.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. That he's like, well, this is just how it is. We're a big chain store. It doesn't matter. We're just going to move him right back. I can't control anything here. So
it just highlights this sterileness and lack of focus on, the humanitarians and just the commerce.
Yeah, exactly. And even the whole movie deal. It's all funny. It's all hilarious.
How sterile. How cynical. How pointless. There's no morality in money. There's no human in money.
Yeah, man. Well said.
Oh, thank you.
One of my other favorite parts was when he was talking to that guy that was going to turn his book into a movie. And during their conversation, there was an ambulance outside. And, we know what's going on. But the guy doesn't. And he just assumes that he heard sirens. So it was something that triggered him. And I absolutely love this part because it just, again, exploded just how stupid everyone just looks.
Yeah, that guy also kind of represents that person who already has made that assumption about you, has those preconceived notions of what kind of person you are and how you're going to react to things. There's already this identity fleshed out in one's head, and we all do it. We can't help but to recognize patterns, of course, but it helps build self-fulfilling problems at the same time.
Yeah, because if he would have just looked out the window, he would have seen it's not a cop car, it's an ambulance. And yeah, okay, he's assuming just the siren itself triggered him, but I don't know, isn't there a little bit of curiosity there on, wait, what? Oh, he saw that it was an ambulance. I wonder why he ran. Or
you just made me have a thought. Hear me out. I think I may have connected his mythological studies to the movie. Is this a tale of Hollywood, white people mythologicalizing black folks and putting them in this pantheon of things to worship, basically?
Yeah, I don't think that idea is too far out there because at this point, we have to worship, black people or whatever, the social agenda is in order to not hurt anyone's feelings. Most importantly, our own feelings. We don't want to come off as racist or whatever. So we got to go all this extra ways to make sure we're not feeling bad.
And funny enough, idealizing, putting people on godlike pedestals is sort of a prejudice in its own right. Kind of like saying how Asian people are good at math. It's like, it's a positive, but it's
still a stereotype. Yeah. And I mean, you see it. You see it all over. Like, the main culprit that comes to mind for me is Target. Just Target having these like bits and sections of black culture or, around
like pride stuff too.
Yeah, and pride stuff.
And then when someone famous says something, Target will basically be like, we didn't even know we had that section.
Yep.
Let's get rid of it. And then they'll bring it back next season.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, that reminds me of how a lot of these companies, especially on social media, will morph their logo into some kind of pride or whatever kind of aesthetic and colors or whatever. You know, I'm sure it's heartfelt in some way that it's trying to spark buzz of inclusivity, but there's this element of, you know, calling people out and more or less alienating people. And I know we're kind of in this phase in time of embracing the you know, your mental health. My mental health makes me me. Isn't that great? You know, my blackness makes me me. It's just like
yeah, it sort of reminds me what one of my nieces brought home, saying that her teacher said that the most important thing to do when taking a test is trying your best. Just try your best. So when she comes home with, you know, bad grades, her excuse is, well, I tried my best and my teacher said that's the most important thing.
There's something so reductive about it. We're missing everything that's come before in human history.
We need a new movement, like you said.
We need a new movement, and it needs to promote the idea that we are more than the sum of our parts.
You mean we need a movement to care about each other as humans?
Yeah.
That's insane. Good luck with that. And of course, my favorite part is the end. I was reading online that a lot of people had issues with this kind of shift in tone with the film here. Exactly.
We had a shift in tone every time we entered, you know, one of his two lives, right? They established that pretty quickly. The only tonal problem, I think, is at the very beginning, where we come out really spiky, and we
lose that. Yeah,
we lose it almost in its entirety.
Did we lose that because he lost
his job
or his sister, his mom?
Yeah.
But I agree, though, that there was no tonal shift here at the end. I really liked it. I liked him kind of showing us what they were going to decide to do with the movie. And then the outcome of it was just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. All right, that's what you want. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved the ending they went with, too. Like their movie ending, not the movie we're discussing right now ending. The outrageousness of, yeah, this is what people want to see. I mean, they showed all three endings. You know, the one where he's about to give the speech and it cuts in black, and then the one where he apologizes, and then the very last one where he gets all shot up. And, you know, fault me here, I like the last one the most. It was, but not because of
blaxploitation. Yeah,
exactly, but because it was just so ridiculous.
It's the ultimate canceling.
Yes, and I love that. I loved it. I think if I was on the fence about this movie watching it, the ending for me did it. So I don't understand why people are so against the end.
I like the end a lot too, and I like it in its entirety, kind of apart from the rest of the movie, especially the beginning, because we don't get that beginning end kind of parallel so much, which is fine. There's no proper way to make a film, of course. It's just sometimes a really nice gut punch, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it just runs home that consumerism thing where, all right, we're just going to give you 3 different endings to fulfill whatever agenda you've already got going for yourself, you know? Here's 3, pick one. It's kind of like in a game, you making decisions based off of whatever, and there's, you know, multiple kind of very similar endings, but the last tiny detail is the major change. He runs away, goes to apologize, he gets shot, or it's ambiguous, right? We got all the fun flavors. And so it's just this hardcore focus on just how sterile we are, how sterile we've become because of whatever post-capitalistic shit we've gotten ourselves into.
That furtherly gets said when, at the very, very end, he hops into a very nice looking car. And what was the whole point of him selling out to get money? To help his mom, right?
Yeah.
At this point, you know, we don't know if his mom passed away or not, but doesn't even matter anymore. Now it's for the car.
Yeah, we've lost sight of the story of him because he's entered the new, influencer, celebrity kind of pantheon, especially in the pantheon of black people. He's made it, right? We have to worship him. He's become in some way what he didn't really want to be. But at the same time, you want to make money. There's no harm in wanting to make money and wanting to sustain you and take care of your family. There's nothing bad about that. And it helps justify the lack of prickliness we get, actually. Because Monk is very tired. He's got a temper, okay, but he's kind of defeated also. Mm-hmm. And so maybe there's some kind of angle there where you can be prickly and be an asshole and, be Detective Dictionary or whatever they called him. But for what end? The market is going to behave how it's going to behave. You're either going to sink or swim. And so I don't know. It's just like I guess an element of kind of just conformity there too. I do wish we got a little bit more tension out of Monk and Sentara. But at the same time, that may have been Sentara 10 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever. Maybe they saw each other, on two different parts of their life. Monk's like, damn, if I'm not careful, that's what's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And then Sentara can totally empathize. I wish we just got a little bit more out of her to humanize her a little bit, because she's just that pandering sellout. She's just that. We didn't really get any nice fine details on her. So it helps kind of justify some of that, I guess, when you can kind of see the cynicism. All right, man. Well, thank you for that conversation. That was a good talk. Thank you for watching this movie with me, too.
Thank you for making me watch it.
You're welcome. Do you have a budget guess for me here today?
Yeah, my budget guess is $12 million, because it gave me Past Lives vibes on just how well made it was, cinematography wise. The performances were good. Maybe we have some bigger named actors here, or just more recognizable, but it's still a debut film. So I was thinking, around the 12-15 million.
It says here that it was less than 10 million, so probably
wow,
floating around right there. So
okay.
nice, yeah. And it went on to make about 16.5 million. If I had to guess, that's probably making money.
This had a theatrical release, correct?
A very small theatrical release,
man.
Yeah.
But I mean, no matter what I'm reading online, I think this is received very well. But
I think so, yeah. Unless people are just,
I guess maybe I'm about to find out.
Yeah, well, with 130,000 people over on Letterboxd weighing in at a 3.8, it's pretty liked. 3.8.
Pretty good. I'm in that range. I gave it a 3, but I wasn't opposed to giving it a 3.5.
Yeah, it's a hard 3 for me because of
the lack of its oomph.
Yeah, the lack of oomph. It really just doesn't have any good punches going on. It feels like there's a lot of half steps. And that could play into Monk's tiredness, I guess. But that's just how it goes for me then. That's fine. It's a good movie. Very good movie.
It is. Agreed. If not, just watch it for the funny bits, really.
Yeah, I liked it more than Killers of the Flower Moon, so there's that.
Yeah, I liked it way more than Past Lives.
Oh, that's crazy talk. But yeah, man, thank you. And thank you guys for listening to this episode of The Filmistines. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with brand new episodes over on patreon.com/Filmistines, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, all the goods. Thank you guys so much. Come subscribe for $1, $5, however much. We appreciate all the support. Come leave nice comments, thoughts, and ideas over on our Patreon. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of The Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed the discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives in the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon, at patreon.com/Filmistines. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is The Filmistines, signing off.